What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Thor. His name is Squash, also known as GreenSeaSquash. He's from the F2 clan, and he is playing against the one, the only Magic here in the red color, playing as Ra. The map is Alfheim. This is a best of 7 hosted by the most philanthropic, that's a word, look it up, Age of Mythology enthusiast out there. His name is Trust, and we do thank him so very, very much for putting on this show match. It's a $500 Age of Mythology show match between these two players. Winner takes home $300. The loser walks away with $200 and utter disgrace, mostly. It still gets paid for the disgrace. A lot of bragging rights here. I was actually talking with some people about this show match today, and I mentioned that there's a handful of players who are in the debate for the greatest of all time. Their resumes are incredibly good, and of those players, the number one is always going to be Magyar. He is always in the conversation. He's always right up there at the top. Number 2 is Mister. Number 3 is Magic, and then you have Aya and Squash. And this is one of those rare moments in Age of Mythology, the Titans, that we get to see 2 of those people duking it out here in a best of 7. And I'm excited, and you're excited, and we can all be excited together. We've got Magic's Ra here as well. He very rarely pulls out the Ra, and obviously he's very, very strong with it. And going up against Squash's Thor, he is no pushover, and honestly, I think Thor's been seeing some very, very strong success at the top level against Egyptian players. No cap here, no cap. Thor is a good god against Egyptian, does very, very well. And we are seeing the immediate Dwarven Goldmine here from Squash, which does make it, I mean, against Egyptian, it's kind of okay, but having that extra security there does work a little bit better in Thor's favor. However, on Alfheim, the low hunt definitely makes it difficult for Thor to function here. There is some nice hunt. We've got the elk, we've got the deer nice close to each other, a little bear here as well that Squash can eat, but it can be very, very brutal for Thor on this map if the hunt isn't so good, and I think that's what this is going to turn into. We'll see what Magic can come up with here. He's got a really nice, safe back town center here. Has Fetters of the Fenrir in the back of his base, which isn't going to matter too much. And he's got these 2 gold mines right next to each other, but they are not in range of town centers. This forward gold mine sort of helps secure this gold mine, so maybe we might see Magic go for this town center in order to try and secure this forward goal line, but I doubt that one. I think the standard meta here, especially on the low hunt maps like Alfheim for Ra, is going to be 2 town center, Tar, fast, heroic, getting the rain abuse, trying to set up a trade route, trying to secure the second gold mine without getting too much punishment. And that's going to allow Squash to kind of do whatever he wants. He can decide to go for a semi-fast, heroic, flaming weapons all in, which is definitely a possibility on this map here. A little bit tough with the hunt situation, but it could be possible. We do see Freya as the god of choice. No surprises there. You want to, if you are going to go for those all-ins, it normally includes getting Thundering Hooves, or something of that variety. Thundering Hooves, maybe heavy cavalry. It all kind of works nicely if you can get there. There's the hardest folly for Magic. We've got some more relics on the map. We've got the pair of golden lions over here. We've also got Pandora's box in the corner, and obviously up the top, Fetters of Fenrir. So we will see what these guys choose to do. Still no advancing here from Magic. If we check the resources, he's still a ways away. No surprise, really. Ra does not need to advance fast in this matchup at all. We see walls already coming up for Squash. This does indicate to me that he wants to go for some sort of gold control, some sort of 1 town center aggression, or there is options here for a 2 town center all in with armory upgrades. Hasn't been done very much. You could potentially hit a decent timing, but on the heroic age and hit a flaming weapons thing, or even go for Skadi, go for Huskal Huskarl raiding cavalry kind of pushes in that style. We see the longhouses coming up nice and forward here for Squash, throwing 2 longhouses down does indicate he does not want to go for a second town center. We see the Valkyrie already coming over onto this settlement here, and there's a first monument only for Magic. A little bit late there on that one. A little bit surprised to see that. I'm not sure he's going to have the 10 favor to get his Shadoof out, though he does have all of these cow, and this may be part of his build. No, he's putting more villages over to gold, so this does indicate he wants to go for a second town center here, or at least or one town center fast farm. Advancing this late does mean it's going to be tough to get this town center with the Valkyrie out. You do have a priest, a pharaoh, and a Wadjet to help prevent that one. However, the raiding cavalry already pushing out here for Squash, coming straight onto this town center. The Valkyrie coming here will spot Petibestet, moving out and going to get jabbed a couple of times by that Valkyrie, and Magic is on the way. We already see the raiding cavalry. We've got a box coming up here. I like this from Magic. He does throw up the barracks already. Ooh, interesting adaptation here. Looks like Magic opting to go for a barracks and a hidden one at that. I think the Valkyrie and the raiding cavalry will spot that one. So this may be some spearmen in order to get this town center secured. How much gold does he have? Magic's got a little bit of gold in the bank. Not quite enough to advance. He's got the wood here. Does he have a pickaxe? He does have a pickaxe. So his economy is actually fairly decent here. And now the units are going to be straying in. We do have Hersa. We've got raiding cavalry. We've got golden lions as well. This is going to have to be a shifting sands here for Magic in order to get this town center up. And I think honestly, definitely worth it. This wall isn't finished yet though, so this may be a little bit too early for Magic. There's the shifting sands into his base before the wall is finished. The Hersa get picked off, or at least one of them does. The Valkyrie retreating over here. The villagers turning onto these raiding cavalry are going to be fighting them off, and it's looking like forest fire coming in onto this tree here. A little bit of an interesting decision there. It doesn't quite hit anything. Maybe a bit of a panic forest fire in some regards because the villagers are fighting quite a bit. We do not see Skin at the Rhino just yet. The raiding cavalry are going to be pushed away. The Wadjet does fall there. The spearmen still here in order to help out. The villager getting pushed away. Pharaoh pushing onto this Valkyrie here. The villagers get back onto the town center, and it's looking like more units still pushing in for Squash. He's still going for this location here. The spearmen going to be strong enough to help this one here, or at least they should be if he decides to fight with them. The Pharaoh needs to micro away from these raiding cavalry. We need to keep that one alive if he wants to survive here. If the Pharaoh does get picked off, that Valkyrie is going to do so much damage, and he is able to survive even longer, throwing those pellets at those raiding cavalry, doing so much damage, and it is looking like Magic may be able to hold on here as these units will be falling. A lot of villagers have fallen though. The raiding cavalry getting out, more raiding cavalry coming in. Still only 2 longhouses here for Squash. Has a couple, he has one Ulfsock over this side, has all that one in. Villagers still getting pulled off this line here. Need to get that town center up. It's an absolute must. We got Shadoof on the way now for Magic, and this town center not getting up just yet is completely brutal here by Squash, giving himself so much time here. Finally, the town center going to get up. Nice play by Magic in order to get up, but even nicer by Squash here in order to keep it down for so long. How much gold in the bank for Magic? He's got 641. Shadoof has just come up, so he's going to have all of that food in order to rain here. The armory coming down very, very late here for Magic. Obviously, should throw that one up as soon as you hit the classic ledge with all that pressure mounting. It's a different story, and we do see that Squash is taking this opportunity now to get himself a second town center. Now, I like this strat or this decision here. This isn't necessarily what you would do normally if a Ra player managed to get that town center up as soon as possible, like at the 5:30 minute mark or something like that. But in this situation where Magic's town center is so delayed, Squash getting this town center up maybe like a minute 30 seconds later is so huge. You're going to have such a huge economy to play with. The Dwarves do finish that gold mine. They're going to be completely safe out here on this second large gold mine. And he's just pumping out Dwarves. He has only onto chickens now. He's got, 6-7 cow left. How are the economic upgrades going? He's got husbandry. He's got pickaxe. No hand axe here. Does have a little bit more hunt in this corner here. And what I would love to see from Squash now is for him to move forward and throw a wall up right over here. It is in range of this watchtower. Maybe you could throw it up here actually and get this completely walled off. And then you may be able to get a 1 town center gold star, a classical age gold staff here. Could be an option. because of how low on gold Magic is going to be here. That all being said, Magic does have the option to throw down the market, spam out military units, and technically speaking here, he should be able to grab a second gold mine, especially with the Patsukos, the free Patsukos, and there's a lot of low HP rating cavalry here for Squash. But he is moving forward here. Do we see some sort of next stage? We do not. Still pumping out those throwing action, obviously trying to deal with the spearmen. We'll see how that goes. And there we go. Looks like the spears are coming out to check this here. Longhouse coming down. There are 2 gold mines here for Magic, so it'll be difficult for him to get it, but he should be able to get it. There's the Horus coming through, 55%. No surprises there, though potentially. I think the Hathor definitely very, very important. We do see the spearmen's coming over here. I actually think that the play here for Magic is to get a rock and then to just fly his villagers over here onto this gold mine. Squash has got 1 Ulfsuck here, but he may be able to sneak something on this side and throw down a Migdol stronghold or something. Do we see that? No, he's going to be going out for this gold mine here. He sees the gate here. We'll see how that goes for him. But the Rock and the Patsukas coming over onto this side market, already coming down here with a lot of villagers. Could potentially start trading onto this hometown center. Not sure how much I like it, but he can do it. The villagers are going to be laying siege to this wooden wall, and with Squash being out of position here, he may actually just have to give this up. And I kind of like this Dwarven Armory placement here, securing or at least getting eyes on the corner of the map. So we'll know if any sort of trade route comes in. The villagers should be able to tear down these houses as well. Cavalry and chariot archers coming out. Magic jumping onto this mining camp here. Getting himself a lot of time to play with while this army is maneuvering around. We'll see if it's going to be enough for him. He does need to think about maybe a second Migdol stronghold here. Squash has got so many resources in the bank, and he has Skadi already here. Really, really fast heroic. He's got medium infantry already. Do we see some technology? He's got irrigation and shaft mine for Magic. So he's actually going for the economic route here when he's probably going to be getting a 2-town center all in here from Squash, throwing down a hill fort on this position already. The villagers do pull away here. Obviously, very, very smart from Magic, getting enough gold from that location to feel good. And then he can just move over here onto this gold mine, utilizing these cliffs and this defensive location very, very nicely here. A hill fort about to pop up as well. More units popping out for Magic. He's making cavalry, chariots, and spearmen. Squash, on the other hand, raiding cavalry, throwing axemen, and I would assume he goes into. There's the locust here. Gonna get a couple of hits here. Nice action, nice play here from Magic. It's a bunch of dwarf kills. Yeah, there are definitely better uses of the locust, but getting that many kills does help out quite a bit. Squash can probably go for a Ragnarok, an early Ragnarok here, and that locust is going to slow it down quite a bit. And we do see that Squash is trying to make a move through here onto this Migdol stronghold, but under the Watchtower, plus the Migdol stronghold, plus the Pharaoh and the Priest here to pick off those Frost Giants, probably not going to be working for Squash. Squash is going to be retreating away. The raids from Magic coming in very, very clutch, but he moves straight past this wood chopping operation here. Needs to get those units tasked there, but he's focusing on the micro here. There's the Huskarls coming out for Squash now. Very, very smart unit choice here. Villagers moving back over onto this gold mine for some reason, as villagers coming over here onto the Longhouse. How much gold does Magic have in the bank? Not a lot. He can trade the wood for gold here if he wants. When he's left it yet again, there's a huge amount of villagers here on this wood line though, which Magic can definitely hit if he wants to. Now the Longhouse does get taken down. These are Skin of the Rhino villagers, so doing the 8.8 damage. And with 9 of them, enough to take that one down in the with that speed there. And now we'll be able to see Magic having a gold mine here. 1 wall or 1.5 walls is all he needs, and he can kind of secure this and put a Migdol behind those walls and feel really good about yourself. Nice raid here from Magic, hitting these units here. The Rock does get sniped. Oh, are these? They don't have the upgrade though, so the Rock can actually retreat back home if he wants to, but he's not paying attention to it. So maybe these throwing axes may be able to get it. Nope, does pay attention. The Rock going to be retreating back home. Can heal that one back up, or with the Priest if he wants to, or the Pharaoh. And keep going with the rock raids. We even got some Wadget out here from Magic. Very, very actually smart decision there. Because the Wadgets with their range, they're going to sit far enough away from those frost giants so you can actually start doing some damage to them. Though they do pierce damage, so the extra 69% is enough, or as a lot of resistance to those. And we do see Squash getting the surround here. Magic splitting up his army as best as he can. He may lose those Wadgets. Actually manages to get out of there somehow. What decision making there from Magic. Needs to drop that priest though. He's slowing down that army way too much. Well, the chariot archers is going to make their way back home here, and it looks like Magic not throwing there. It looked like he was potentially going to be in a lot of pain, but he does manage to survive that one. And Balder is on the way for Squash. He's seeing his opportunity. 2 town center Balder here can definitely work. We've got crenellations, but we do not have too much else for Magic. He's still 2 town center. We've got the Huskarl raids coming in, Hands of the Pharaoh coming in. Potentially Magic just needs to throw down like 5 watchtowers here if he can. He's got a little bit of gold in the bank, lot of wood, but he needs to think about axemen. He needs to think about watchtowers. Otherwise, this Ragnarok is just going to steamroll through Magic's gold situation here. And there's the Balder. There's the Ragnarok coming in instantly here. How's the armory upgrades? We've got pierce armor only, bronze armor, bronze shields there. We do have copper mail coming through. No weapons though, so while these do 14.3 damage, it's not that much. And now he can move in. He does still have a frost here, so he can frost that army and see what he wants to do there. I would love to see Squash refinishing his wall over here just to make sure that Magic can't sneak a gold mine while he's all-inning this top side. Siege works coming in now, and Squash has got this coming through. He's got the frost giants here tanking damage onto that Migdol stronghold, but the priest in the back going to be doing a lot of damage to the frost giant as those heroes of Ragnarok flooding in here. Do we see Axeman coming out? We do. There's only 2 barracks though. Now Magic throwing up watchtowers in his base. I don't hate it because it's going to allow him to survive for a little bit, but no watchtowers on this gold mine may be a really big issue for him because he's going to actually lose this market as well. There's the frost onto the army, going to allow Squash to kind of freely take this town center down. We've got some villages. Magic! That is some magic right there from Magic. He is sneaking this gold mine, and Squash has got no idea. He's found his way into the corner. He's on this gold mine. I'm not even sure Squash has spotted this gold mine. So this is going to be an extra 6,000 gold for Magic, an extra 16 villagers on this gold mine, and Magic is going to be able to make some crazy sort of comeback here. He's still got 240 gold in the bank. He's on 117 population here, and those villagers, well, he needs to get them to work, and he will, throwing that mining camp down with these guard towers in his base. He's getting masons through here. How much population does Squash have? 143 population here. Very, very defendable here for Magic. He's picking off the fire giant as well. There's no follow-up for Squash either, as these units are streaming in as Squash wants to finish this game off here and now. But I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. There's a lot of villagers here that can sneak. Well, they can't sneak anywhere, but like he needs to keep them alive basically, and he's able to do so. Nice micro with the Pharaoh doing as best as he can, but he's still only got. Well, he's got 2 barracks actually. He should be building axemen out of that barracks if he can. And how much gold does he have? Not a lot. Not many resources. Maybe these villagers should have come back onto his hometown center in order to jump onto those farms as well. But chariot archers still flooding out here, and Squash sitting at 60 population as it looks like Magic has defended this Ragnarok with this gold sneak here. However, Squash starting his re-economy here. He's got this gold mine. He's got these villagers pumping out. He's got frost giants as well. Is he making fire giants? No, he is not. He's going to be looking for gold mines, trying to shut that down. But now Magic can simply just grab this gold mine back if he needs to. But if he can find these villagers, he'll do a lot of damage. If he can not find these villagers, this is a crazy side build opportunity for Magic as well a little bit later in the game if it does end up going a little bit later. So we'll see how that goes. Now, Frost Giant picks off the Chariot Archer that will be looking for raids here. He's sending Axeman forward. Axeman, not the best raiders. You do want to raid with those Chariot Archers if you can. But this is a good defensive gold mine here. Wall's already coming up for Squash, so it's going to be feeling very, very good about that. However, he is severely behind on the villager count here. He's got 10 villagers here as opposed to Magic, who has got quite a few more. But Magic's still only in the Heroic Age. He does need to get to the Mythic Age in order to deal with the Fire Giants. They should be following this up once the Gold Villagers start pumping here. And potentially Squash is able to continue in this game. But we'll see how he goes. We will see how it goes. Chariot Archers moving forward here, going to be picking off the Throw-in Axeman. He does get some snipes here. This wall, not quite enough to prevent the Chariot Archers from hitting this. And there's a couple of Axemen here that can deal with these medium Huskar, though Magic actually can snipe those himself already just by the sheer fact that Chariot Archers have range over the Huskar there, which gets sniped. So a nice micro from Magic. He needs to throw up a Siege Works, which he is doing. Fantastic. It's going to allow him to push out. He does have to deal with those Frost Giants. Azra not having Funeral Rites, kind of the only answer to the Frost Giants are Mummy. But they are a good answer indeed. So we will probably see Osiris as soon as Magic can. Sending more villagers over onto this gold mine. Would love to see if Magic could secure that forward town center there and go up 3 town centers. Squash now sitting at 59 population, and Squash does tap out. GG. Well played by Magic. This gold sneak here absolutely clutched Magic the game. Somehow walking past the ox carts, not getting spotted, and was able to defend on that hometown center. Well played by Magic, taking the first game in this best of 7 series. Move on to game number 2 very, very shortly. And if you're enjoying these games, you can hit that follow button if you feel like it. If you do not feel like it, that's fine. You can hit the subscribe button on the YouTubes. And I will see you guys in the next game.